Hello and welcome to our webinar to discuss the services available to self-employed individuals through the Missouri Job Center. My name is Crystal Irons and I'm the director of the Missouri Small Business Development Center at Missouri State University. I appreciate everyone taking the time to join us and want to really thank the Missouri Job Center for helping us make this webinar possible today. Just a few quick housekeeping items before we get started. Please be sure to change your screen name if you haven't already to your first and last name so that we know who you are, and we will definitely follow up with you via email with some additional information. And also know that we'll be sending out a survey after the session. So please be watching for that and follow up with us and provide your feedback. I want to quickly remind everyone that we here at the Missouri Small Business Development Center at Missouri State University and the E-Factory are here to support you and your business. The Missouri SBDC provides assistance to business owners at every stage through confidential one-on-one consulting at no additional fee to our clients, as well as training programs on a variety of topics like this one today. You can visit our website and our team of consultants are taking appointments daily to assist you. And now I would like to welcome and introduce Catherine Trombetta, Communications and OneStop Coordinator, as well as Haley Sides, Executive Secretary, both with the Missouri Job Center and City of Springfield Department of Workforce Development. Ladies, thank you so much for working with us to provide this webinar, and I will turn it over to you.
All right, well, thank you so much, Crystal. Thank you for having us today. We always appreciate the opportunity to talk to business owners, both large and small, about the services that the Missouri Job Center provides on a daily basis. I'm Catherine Trombetta. I also serve as like the spokesperson for the Job Center, and I have been employed here for almost 3 years. And so it's been a great journey for me, and it's such a pleasure to speak to you today. I'm just going to jump right in and talk a little bit about the Job Center itself and kind of what we look like here locally. We are in the Ozark Region, and that is a 7-county region. You can kind of see in the southwest corner of the state there on the map. We have a 7-county region, and in our region we have 3 office locations, if you will. Our primary location is here on East Sunshine, where I'm at, and then we have an affiliate site at the Fairbanks, which is 1126 North Broadway in Springfield, and then we have another site in Branson on Shepherd of the Hills Expressway. And so those 3 locations are located within our region to help job seekers connect with jobs and with businesses. We also do what we call one-stop pop-ups. And of course, those were suspended for the pandemic, but we have plans to get those up and running again. And what we do is we send staff out into the communities and our counties, and we essentially bring the job center to them. And we set up in libraries or other public places and get people connected to jobs and other services in that way. So that's a look at us, in a nutshell. We have a lot of different avenues in which we help businesses and or workers if they are new or if they're re-entering the workforce after an extended period of time, such as the pandemic. But there are other reasons as well that someone might need to take a break, from the workforce. And so, or if someone is thinking about changing a career and needs some training or some skill up in a different type of industry, we can help with that. And or if someone is self-employed and they have that entrepreneurial mindset, we can also help them in a variety of ways. And just to kind of give you an overview of the whole, the public workforce system, if you will, throughout the United States and in Missouri. Throughout the United States, there are over 500 workforce development boards. Each of them are federally funded, federally funded. We are a part of the Ozark region, as I said, and our board covers 7 counties, which is Dallas, Polk, Webster, Greene, Christian, Taney, and Stone. 51% of our board is represented by the private sector. And then funding, how we get our funding. It is allocated by Congress through the Department of Labor. And then the Department of Labor allocates that money to each of the 50 states. And then the state Department of Labor then turns around and allocates that money to each workforce development board. And so that's how we get our WIOA funding, which stands for Workforce Innovation and Opportunities Act funding. Additional funding, though, is obtained through application of grants. And we do have several grants. We'll get into that a little bit later, but we do have several grants right now that are active and that we are training people through grant funding. So moving on to the next slide. We are known as a OneStop, and I am the OneStop coordinator at this facility. And so we have several partners that are located here in the building. It's not just the City of Springfield Department of Workforce Development. We have other partners as well. And that's Equus Workforce Solutions, which they administer the MWA grant, which stands for Missouri Work Assistance Program. We have WIC. We have, of course, the State Department of Higher Education and Workforce Development. We have Associated General Contractors, Vocational Rehabilitation, and Legal Services of Southern Missouri has a representative that comes over here once a week and meets with folks with legal issues. All right, and then some of our community partners, just to make you aware, we partner a great deal with the Springfield Area Chamber of Commerce and with employers such as Cox and Mercy, Guarantee Bank, and then of course with the JVIC. And then of course our providers are, and we'll talk about those later, they are our educational partners, OTC, of course Missouri State University, SIMCOG, and then Rural Behavioral Health. And those are just some of the organizations that we partner with on a regular basis. And just to give you a look at our training providers, you know, we have through grant funding and also through WIOA funding, we have training opportunities for those who qualify to help them train for a new career. And as you can see, we contract with this list of training providers, both large and small, to help people train for a variety of new careers in industries in 5 major sectors. And those are transportation, healthcare, manufacturing, construction, and IT. And so these training providers are both virtual, online, and in person, which makes it really great because we have that flexibility to meet that person where they're at as far as their needs in doing something in person and or virtually. So we feel very fortunate to partner with all of these training providers, and they provide a great service to us and to this community. Just what to expect. If you've never been to the Job Center, I would invite you to stop by anytime. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And so on your first visit, as someone who is possibly a job seeker and or someone who is entrepreneurial minded and maybe wants to get some ideas on how to start a small business, we would first set you up with a face-to-face meeting with a qualified workforce development specialist who can conduct just an assessment or have a conversation with you. And we also do have, for job seekers, a 12-question computer-based assessment as well. For both job seekers and for employers, we register you online through our MoJobs system. And MoJobs is the job search engine that we use to connect job seekers to jobs. It's a great service in that, well, for many reasons, but one of the reasons that it's really beneficial is that we do not sell your data. So as a private individual job seeker and or a company, if you put your data in our system, it stays secure, and we do not sell it to third-party vendors to then turn around and solicit you for any type of variety of services. And so That's a really nice thing to know. Some of the other job search engines don't do that. They sell your data to other sources. We provide you with resources to further enhance your skill set and help those complete post-secondary education or credentials of some sort. And then we provide referrals for additional assistance and or for jobs. And so those are some of the things you could expect on your first visit to the job center. And then just kind of what to bring at your initial visit. It could take up to an hour going through the entire process. We ask that you bring your ID. It's important for us to be able to record, who we've served and how we have served them. If for job seekers, if you do have a resume, that is always helpful to bring with you. And once you have completed this access or this registration process, you will have access to different types of assistive technology, to assessments. We have a computer bank here, of course, with internet capabilities. We can help employers and employees set up Zoom interviews if a face-to-face interview isn't appropriate. Of course, we have phones and fax machines and things like that to help with any kind of job search activities. And of course, job search assistance, resume assistance, and workshops. And we'll touch on those workshops here in just a minute. This is some of the grant funding training opportunities that I was mentioning earlier. As you can see, we have several grant funded opportunities. One of our largest and most successful is America's Promise. And that is a grant program that helps train in the medical field for several different medical careers. So these are short-term trainings that take anywhere from 6 to 9 to 12 months, where we can train someone and get them into the workforce in a relatively short amount of time. So as you can see, we can train for CNA, CMA, pharmacy tech, phlebotomy tech, EMT, those types of careers. And so, there's our website right there for Ozark's Promise if you're interested in learning more about that. We do have apprenticeships through Franklin, but then also we have other apprenticeships as well through the state of Missouri. Missouri is actually one of the leading states in the country for completed registered apprenticeships. We have over 13,000 registered apprenticeship opportunities in the state of Missouri. And so that's really a growing area. And it's an area that Governor Parson recently designated as a big push through 2025. I think his goal is to get 20,000 registered apprentices in the state of Missouri through 2025. So we are working feverishly to try and meet that goal. Green for Green is a really neat program. This is a grant that's funded through the EPA, and it's a free training program. It lasts 5 weeks, and participants come away with 13 certifications that will help them get jobs in environmentally related careers. You not only gain these certifications like through courses or through testing, but also through a hands-on experience in a variety of different settings. And these jobs translate into a high-paying career once they have completed this course. To an employer, it's very impressive for someone to list these 13 credentials on their resume. And I know of one individual that I presented with recently to a group from Leadership Springfield, and she went through the Green for Green program, and she's now working in production, and she's making $26 an hour. So these are incredibly lucrative jobs, and we are just very pleased to be able to offer this free training opportunity to people. Missouri Works Together is a grant that addresses the opioid crisis and provides free training and paid work experience to those who are affected by opioids. And so that's a really neat program. And again, there's Tasha's contact information if you're interested in that. And then, of course, I mentioned our WIOA funding. We have WIOA funding for both adults and dislocated workers. And dislocated workers is someone who has been laid off from a job for any reason. And so we can help, again, retrain them for a new career or find them a job in a similar type industry through a dislocated worker program. WIO Youth mirrors WIO Adult, except the youth portion is for youth ages 16 to 24. So we have case managers who come alongside these youth and help them in a variety of ways. Sometimes we help them gain their high-set credentials and then go on and train in, again, our 5 high demand sectors, which I mentioned earlier: construction, manufacturing, IT, transportation, healthcare, and those types of industries. But for our youth, those are geared towards young people 16 to 24 to help them become workforce ready, because in that time of life, you need a little extra help sometimes in landing that first real job and getting ready to enter the workforce. And then, of course, we have Skill Up. And this is a training program, again, in those 5 high demand areas for individuals who receive SNAP benefits. And so there, as you can imagine, there's some criteria involved in that program, along with the SNAP program, which is food stamp program. So anyway, those are some of the programs and the grants that we have going on right now. We are always looking for new grants to apply for, and Haley works extensively with our staff in supporting the role of applying for grants and things like that. And so we are always on the lookout for new grant opportunities. And then talking a little bit about our workshops, before the pandemic, each month we would have a series of workshops in which people could come in person and just help them in their job search or in any kind of assessments that they might need. And so we are happy to announce that we are bringing those back in May in person. And just to give you an idea of just some of the workshops that we offer, we of course offer Apply, which is for anyone with legal issues. Maybe you have a DWI on your record, or any other type of charge. And so we actually help you talk about these issues, so to employers, to overcome that barrier and to let the employer see who you are as an individual and not define you by what you've done in your past. And so it's a really neat workshop. We are partnering with Regions Bank to do a budgeting 101 session to help people, create a budget and then stick to a monthly budget. I think that's going to be really beneficial. Of course, then we have workshops on going through the interview process, filling out that online application, creating and or updating your resume, and using those keywords. Those are so important in this day and age, to use those keywords that reflect what the employer wants to see on your resume. We have specific employment services for veterans. We have staff who are dedicated to helping veterans transition from the military to civilian life and find full-time employment. We also partner with OTC to offer adult education literacy classes. And then Work Keys is one of our assessments that job seekers can take to show their level of understanding and knowledge in certain areas. And then they can take those the assessment results to their job interview, show their employer that they have scored a gold level on their NCRC test. And that's very impressive to employers. It's kind of like an ACT for people who don't go to a institute of higher education. And so it's that equivalent. Then of course, some additional services we offer is our career closet, which again, we just opened as we're coming out of the pandemic. We are able to open up our career closet, and we provide professional business attire and semi-casual business attire to anyone who may have a job interview scheduled, and or if they've gotten a job but they need clothes for the first few days of work. We provide up to 2 complete outfits, including accessories like shoes and anything they might need to feel comfortable at their new employer. We also provide resource materials and one-on-one job searching, so we can really drill down and try and assess what the job seeker and the employer is looking for in a candidate. So since the pandemic, it's no secret that virtual has become the new norm. This presentation right now is a perfect example of that. In 2019, we would have never even imagined doing this virtually, but we can help a small business, especially in setting up Zoom interviews with potential employees. Here at the Job Center, we have private rooms where people can go, close the door and set up that one-on-one Zoom interview. We also work with the state to do virtual job fairs, and those are ongoing. That's another thing that was a completely foreign concept, in the year 2019, eons ago, and now has just become the norm because of what we've been through the last year. We have a really broad range of outreach that we do, and that's part of my job specifically. In our social media platforms, we do Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and we help publicize hiring events, but also other types of specialty events that we do, such as roundtables for employers and just different types of activities. We do have our first drive-through job fair of the year here at the Sunshine location, and that's coming up later this month. So we'll be doing a lot of outreach for that. Of course, I mentioned virtual training and hiring events and Zoom meetings and those types of things. We have done some Facebook Live, especially during the height of the pandemic, as a way to reach people. We did some Facebook Live events where we would go and do like mini workshop sessions and talk about pointers for revamping your resume or how to do that Zoom interview, that type of thing. So those are just some of the new norms that we have going. Oh, sorry, I got off just a little bit. All right, I just wanted to touch on Build Ed here really quickly. And this is something that would especially appeal, I think, to small business owners and entrepreneurs. And this is something that is in development. We have not actually rolled this out yet because we are still trying to form and figure out what this is going to be, and we'd like to bring in some partners to help us with this, and so this is very much in the works, but please be looking for this in the future. But our goal is to provide a platform, education and support to secure a job and advance through a career, and bring your own venture to life. We want to do a traditional or blended of online courses and or in person to increase the skills and earnings of those self-employed and entrepreneurs. And so, like I said, this is something that we're still trying to put down on paper, if you will, our goals and what it is that we really want to bring, and how we can especially serve those who are self-employed. So be looking for that. I'm sure we'll have a huge outreach on that when it becomes available. But yes, so keep Build Ed kind of in the back of your mind. And so that's kind of wraps up the presentation that we have today for the Missouri Job Center. Please feel free to contact us and schedule an appointment. However, appointments are not required. You can also walk in, but as you can imagine, our business service representatives are very busy this time of year, helping companies hire employees. So you can see on our social media pages we have hiring events posted, daily. So, but please reach out to us. We are happy to help you in any way we can, even if it's just with some specific, economic data, market information. We are happy, to provide that to you. And that's really all that I have today. I have Sally Payne, our director. That's her email address if you'd like to reach out to her, or you can also reach out to me. And I have the same email address, except mine is ktrombetta@springfieldmo.gov. But thank you so much to Crystal for inviting us to present today, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Catherine. We really appreciate your time and all of your information. If anybody does have questions, feel free to throw those in the chat, and we'll go over those. Catherine, one thing I might ask you, I know that you all have really been fielding a lot of unemployment questions for our self-employed individuals. Anything you might want to say about that, or how you might direct those at this point, as you guys are really trying to start focus on helping people come out of this pandemic?
Yes, that has been our goal, is to educate the public on just the vast number of jobs that are available right now, and just try to help them transition from unemployment to being gainfully employed. So that's kind of the approach that we have. The unemployment itself actually is administered through the Department of Labor, but a lot of times people get us confused with the Department of Labor and through the Interact system. And we are happy to answer questions and provide assistance in that way for those who are unemployed. But our goal is to do the outreach and to educate those who, for whatever reason, are out of work, and let them know of just the wide range of opportunities that are available right now.
Ladies, can I ask a quick question? Hello, how are you ladies doing
Sure.
today?
Good. Thank you for attending. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm so excited I had the opportunity. I love it down here, and I love how good you guys are with your people who live in this community. So thank you for everything that you do. 2 questions. I volunteered at the Missouri Career Center at the closet, and I wanted to know, do you take donations, or would I have to go through like Missouri Council of the Blind? I do have a lot of business clothes that I would most definitely like to give to a plus size woman that they can use, and I didn't know how you take in donations. I've never seen anybody take it in, how they brung it.
Yes, no, that's a
The
great
donations,
question.
I just worked in that area and actually just,
Yeah, thank you for asking that. No, we are accepting donations right now, and you can just stop by during regular business hours and drop off your donation. We can even provide you with like a receipt for your taxes for your donation. So yes, we'd love to get your donation.
All right, great. Thank you so much. Catherine and Haley, again, we really appreciate you working with us to provide this information. As I mentioned, we are recording it, and so give us a day or so, and we will get that live on our website and push it out. And you're always welcome to share it. And as you are trying to manage your businesses, if there's anything we can do at the Missouri Small Business Development Center, please don't hesitate to reach out, and we will continue to work closely with the Missouri Job Center as you need additional things in finding employees. We're here to help you make that connection with them as well. So everyone have a great day. Catherine, Haley, thank you so much.
Thank you.